And me, I said, well, normal academic attitude. What is it? Okay, we get people to talk. One of the kind is okay. God let us, be productive and get something out of this one. We are thrilled to have you here today to explore this critical topic. Often overshadowed by leadership, followership is a dynamic force that drives transformation. Effective followership empowers individuals to contribute actively, to challenge convention, and collaborate toward positive change. It is not about blind obedience, but rather informed engagement, a willingness to question, learn, and adapt. We recognize that creating a sustainable change demands a collective effort from individuals who are willing to follow, support, and work together towards a common goal. Please note that is where we get the collective from. A group of individuals who share the same goals, the same ideas, and towards working a particular idea, getting it done. Together, we will delve into the definition, principles, practices, and impact of followership, as well as linkage with leadership and governance. Ultimately, however, our goal is to establish a virtual laboratory where we can test followers' understanding of their obligations and responsibilities to the polity, thereby creating scenarios where researchers can conduct studies on the correlation, whether positive or negative, between followership, leadership, and governance. Distinguished colleagues, over the next 3 or 4 hours, I not say more than that, depending on the outcome. We shall engage in thought-provoking discussions, we share experiences, and learn from each other's perspective. At a point of note, the cases we will examine shall provide us with the inspiration from both the Global Northwest Democratic Leadership and the Global Southeast Human-Centered Followership. Hopefully, the various presentations will help us to unlock the potential of followership in choosing or electing responsive and responsible leadership who will take them to the promised land. Esteemed colleagues and special guests, it is a privilege to be part of this journey of collective growth, where followership becomes a force for sustainable change. Thank you, and welcome to our board, Decision Science. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma, for the wonderful welcome remarks. Because of time, item 2, 3, 4 on the agenda will be taken together. Because of time, we are matching together. May I have the privilege to invite to the podium General Ishola Williams to give opening statement and also tell us why we are here, and at the same time introduce the followership collective. Let's put our hands together for you.
Good morning, everybody, and first of all, let me thank Professor Bedi. Possibilities for doing what most other universities have been to, have refused to do, or rejected to do, because we have a mindset in Nigeria, very, very dangerous mindset, which has been inculcated by the Western concept. Leadership is the problem of Africa. Leadership is the problem of Nigeria. It's not true. If leaders don't drop from heaven, but come from somewhere. And I've never seen any country or anywhere in the world where the leaders drop from heaven. Even pastors who are anointed, pastors who say they are anointed, they didn't drop from heaven. And when Jesus Christ rose to heaven, he didn't come back. Oh, but the church will come back anyway. When I do not know. By that time I'm gone. But anyway, he has to come back here. So nobody had gone up and come down. And nobody had come down and said, I am leader. No. And even if you say you are a leader, if people don't accept you, who are you leading? Those are monkeys and sheep. So some people are sheep anyway. That's why you have followership and followership. I just want to say some few words about why we are here today, and then to all of you who have come here to take part in this sort of discussion, because this is something that has been going on for a long time. And talking to people in the Western countries, like about this concept of followership, sometimes it's very difficult to understand. And I do not blame them, because they have a complete mindset of their followers, complete mindset, which generally come from us. And we do not understand that. When we follow what we call the concept of their own reality, and even manifest that. There's one job we used to deal there, that was like about 20 years ago or more than that. He used to say that no management is the same. There's a cultural aspect of management. And if you understand that, they are lost as a management. That is not understand. So we teach management practices and so on and so forth. And look at how I do them and say, yes, we are teaching management. And those who are involved in management tell you, when in India or Chinese, they brought a company in Nigeria. Nigeria behave differently than when the Nigerians brought a company in Nigeria. In fact, they can make the company collapse. Secondly, when you sack in Nigeria, the mother and father, everybody will come and start begging. And you don't understand you. If you cannot speak their language, they don't even know your mother or your father to come and say you are playing. For them to hold you back. So they are successful. And the way we are going, really, thanks to them, go to your home. If not, Asia will run the world. So, but let me first of all, dedicate some people are thinking about that. First of all, also, the cabinet for that. When I left the army in the night, I had to get involved with some civil society. I had to find out, as a former military officer, how does the civil society think? And all those projects and everything that they are trying now, what made them do that? But I discovered so many things anyway. This is not where I talk about it. But this guy stood out in particular. He was a medical doctor. He was a clinic. He was an activist. Been to jail so many times that I fight, but nobody remembers him. Nobody remembers him. And the poor Kuti family, what they have contributed to the life of Nigeria. Brother Olikoye Kuti, but one of the most Kuti goes to Babangida and said, do this, Babangida will do it. Because he was sentenced. In the end, in the midst of health, they gave him help. He said, no, I'm going to do this. You can see as much as you like, but do what I've come here to do. Because everybody goes for that. But what's also interesting about Fela is this: nobody is celebrating Fela in Nigeria, including his hometown in Abeokuta. A very funny people, you know. If Fela were outside, there could have been an national celebration and festival. Maybe just before they can do that. This is a woman, Fela is a woman. Exactly, the body of the so I'm here because of General Mede, who happens to be the late who made it. So that's what I'm here to do. And I've been trying to sell this idea for the past 6 years, but nobody has taken up the idea. So this gentleman who was formerly spokesman to the presidency set up a TBC for NITSA and invited me to come and speak. Before then, I sent in this concept paper about followers. I said, this is what I'd like to talk about. And we spoke about it. Initially, he was not convinced because of this the problem of Nigeria. Conversation, I'm convinced and said, see, this is something that we should follow up. And that has led us for me to now, everybody is a follower. Religion, politics, and so on. People become members of political parties. And in the political party, they choose leaders. They have to follow somebody. What is different about Nigeria is that any type of members of action group contribute money to run action group. Today, people believe that they run political parties. People who have money control the political parties and should be giving them money to become members of the party. How can you control the man who has money to run the party? And that's why we don't have political parties in Nigeria. We don't have. And we say we are running a democratic system. So those who run this center for democracy and things like that, they are part of the demons that are corporate. Tell it, they are part of the demons that are corporate. How can you run democracy without political system? Political system that are controlled by money back, you are wasting your time. And Nigeria is going to get more than what it is today. As long as you allow people, if a president can tell them that I became president, I put my own money. How? An individual having enough money to grow for presidency? Even in America, where they have millionaires. Something's wrong with that country. But most of all, you don't know. And if followership you don't know, you get what you have. It's what you have. And therefore, the most important thing is that at any particular time of the life of the country, you have to decide whether you want to be followership or a sheep. Or what some people cause you don't look. You don't look the sheep, and there's somebody who made a statement. If you push Nigeria to the wall, you push the wall down. Nigeria push the wall down. So many things anyway. Therefore, followership must exist, no followership. If not, that country is in trouble. And that's the difference between a democratic system and democratic system of the people that we copy. That's why. And one of the wrong systems to copy is presidential. It's one of the most expensive and inappropriate system. Why? When you elect the president, that president becomes a god. If you listen to the Nigerian Election Authority, the first president has approved the baptism fellowship of Pastor of Glory. The first president has approved the DG of an agency. Everything president. The first president has approved the university of Pastor of Glory. So there's no issues that we need to think about. Therefore, followership exists, but majority are followership. And that's why we need to think about it. Then, what are the factors that look at? In an ethnic situation like Japan, or Botswana, or Lesotho, it's easier. Because your culture, same language, same everything. So it's easier. But when you have a multi-ethnic one, people that are asking for that success. Then Multiplicity must come. You will give my brother, this is the head. He must give you something now. Or you must go and put something in your area. And state government will say, we don't have any federal presence in our state. What are you asking for federal presence? In the federation. If you get allocation. But that's what it is. So they are looking for federal presence. So if that president like you saw the case of Buhari, and Tinubu is not following Buhari totally with the ability of both Yorubas and the people from the north. Then they let the doctor come to Nigeria. So the right number of government they have made, either from South, and so on and so forth, you can count them on the finger. Is that right? Okay? But that's what presidential system does. It becomes a law. But we copy the Americans who have been liking followers. We don't have here in Nigeria. And then people also have this mindset. If we're here, we are supposed to get from you. So we practice trickle down economy. I don't think there's any economic system who understands the Nigerian economic system. It is so, the truth is not there. Like my pastor will tell you. You know, you are not promising them in Nigeria. No. It's trickle down. And that's what Senator said. If you want to stay in government, people come to you, don't give them some money. That's all. And everybody satisfied. Everybody satisfied. So that's what is going to happen. And what do they have? If you link up political, economic, and road of economy together, you come back to what Kalman said. You make it a nation. That's what's going on in Nigeria. And then, how can there be equity when a group of people give billions of naira? How? So if your president spends his own money to become president, he must be a good Samaritan. Will he recover the money or not? I don't know. Secondly, you have adaptation or adaptation of foreign money. In most cases, except for South Africa, it's either presidential, like the American system, or the parliamentary system of UK. If you look at the two, really, you find that the parliamentary system is more adaptable than the presidential system. Because the parliament can check the prime minister. The prime minister is a member of the parliament who was supposed to the parliament regularly. He had a constituency that was important. He had a political party that was important. He had a parliament to control. The presidential system now. For South Africa, they have a system in which it's a mixed presidential and parliamentary system. You can find that on your own. And that's what it's called. And they have what they call chapter 11 institution in South African constitution. Big chair. Not chapter 11 this is that there. So in the case of South Africa, they managed to do that. And as long as for you to have this model that you have, it affects the future generation because they see a loophole that you want to become rich going to politics. And that is why it's so interesting. Majority of the people in the political parties of Nigeria are below 40 years. But the money bags are above 60 and 70. And they cannot remove those money bags because the money bags take care of them. And then they are looking for an opportunity to go to do what the money bags are doing. So instead of taking over the party, they choose to take over the party because they are benefiting from here. So when people talk about youth in Nigeria and things like that, I don't think those people are strategic thinking. They are not. If not, they can take over the political party. Because the governors of the members are people. Look at all the governors. How many governors are up to 60 years of age? After 30 governors, how many of them? Most of them are below 60 years of age. But I did not fully around. And if you look at the federalism too, the federalism is declining. Federalism is declining in Nigeria. It's not growing. Even though people are asking for restructuring. It's not at all. And that's why no president will come to Nigeria and want to restructure. And use the power of Abuja or the power of allocation, money. No president will do that. In Lagos, everybody can become the governor of Lagos. Everybody. When I look at the last election in Lagos, I knew that President Bola Tinubu was going to lose Lagos. Because any occasion I go to vote in my area, majority of the voters are people from the service. Whenever people don't vote, I'm challenging anybody. Those guys don't vote, but they collect your money. But they won't vote. I know what they are able to change that. So if you take Lagos, for example, and say Lagos is university, Lagos is a metropolis, and anybody, if they are free and fair election, no government become Lagos. Governor of Lagos. The Lagos don't care. As long as they get money, they don't care at all. So, rural areas, yes, because we have common culture, common language, and everything. As soon as rural areas become a town, a city, a metropolis, everything changes completely. And that's it from patterns of what is happening in the Western world. In which you can come from any state, and you can become a resident of that place. Now, you can go back. Okay, thank you. Followership is supposed to determine the direction of any country in the world. Followership determines direction. Because if the person you have elected is not going the way you people want him to go or how to go, it is a way to remove him. Many ways. Parliamentary representative impeachment, or you go to his palace and carry him out, and you run to the backyard. There are so many ways of removing the person. But the person is likely to make sure that you elect the right person with the right character, which is what we do in Nigeria. And that is why, even during the time of Obasanjo, when people said they want to go and protest, Obasanjo himself was scared. So the issue of protest and the executive is not be scared. It has not been there. But for Obasanjo, when people want to protest, the president does not care anymore. He did not care. But today, they are scared because of the way they come in. The Makata acquired Obasanjo because they rigged the election to bring Obasanjo in. So, rigging has become part and parcel of, and it's because the followers accepted that. And what's so interesting now is this is that the members of National Assembly wants INEC to be conducting local government election in the federal system. In fact, the number of federal system, governorship and local government election, they are not the business. They are not. And you say, oh, you can't trust them, you can't do this, you can't do that. In the case of state police, you can't trust them. If you have a community, and the community does not have any means of enforcement, and the enforcement of their laws have to come from one side, that community is finished. That community can never be saved. Can never be saved. Because if the members of that community provide the enforcement of laws within the community, that community has to be responsible for their community to be safe, which is not what's happening in Nigeria. And that's the situation. And then people talk about fear of police. No matter how much you pay people, people are never satisfied. So it's not a matter of payment. It's a matter of how your social justice works. At the end of the day, it's left for us to decide how we want to bring up that sort of followership that must change Nigeria. It is not the leaders. If you have been existing for 60 years, and Nigeria is still at the stage in which it is still now, and the corruption level and so forth, I don't see how you want to make it change. Except if the followership themselves decide that you want to change Nigeria. If not, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful speech. For the record, for those of us who don't know much about general, there are three things that
they use in Nigeria today to describe him. The first point they use to describe him is his modesty. He's a very modest man to the core who doesn't believe in the luxury living. And I think his mode of dressing will attest to that. The second point that they use to describe general is the fact that he is the Nigeria's most poorest general. And even his daughter also attested to it when she said, my father has no money, but he has a good heart. That's the second thing they use to describe. And the third things they use to describe him is that in the history of Nigeria, he is the only general who faced General Sani Abacha to protest against the immoral trial against the 1992 election. And as a result of that, he walked out from the military and resigned. So, we are very lucky to have him in our midst, and from the way he has talked to us, we can all agree that our dean made no mistake in bringing General Williams to us. And before we move to the next item on the agenda, we want also General Alabi Sama to also speak to us for maybe 1 or 2 minutes to say something about, can I bring the mic here or okay, maybe we can adjust our chair like this. Okay, sir.
All protocols of love, ladies and gentlemen, this General William has been my very good friend since we were in the army. But not true, but I like him. He has brilliant ideas. But I still don't agree with this followership system. I will tell you. First of all, my background was military. I left from secondary school to go and join the army. In those days, to go and join the army was another disaster. You must have been a dropout or a You can imagine how much my mother cried for the son going to join the army. When you are talking about followership, here is the way I see it. Let us go back to our parents. All of us sitting down here, we know our parents. Some know the grandparents, but you know thereafter. You know your great-grandparents. In Ilorin, for those who have their villages around, and Okoye, Abambe, Jolasun, Amuro, what's our village there? Abiyomi, Ofa, and the rest of them, you see, our parents went to a farm. He was able to plow 1 acre. Married a wife, the wife died, you planted 2 acres. You have children, they help, you have 3 and so on. Married more wives, had more land. And because of that, he became the head of that village when other people joined him to farm. That was the system that I grew up with. I'm 84 years old. That was the system I grew up with. And in Ilorin, in those days, you were not allowed to go to school. You must read Quran. Finally, we started going to school because we are backyard of the West. You can see our system here. Even though they are rioting everywhere, they don't riot. even the last riot, the governor followed them to identify with them. What I would like to see with followership and leadership would be that, let's do it like the military. Before you can become a president, you will have gone through your primary school, your secondary school, then university. You must have gone through the chairman. You must have been a member of rep. You must have been a senator. Because as you grow up the ladder, we will be able to pick a good leader. All along, I remember some years back, a policeman that became a senator made a speech and said, some of these people sitting by me here, gathered his people together and fought King Charles I. And they won. The people won. King Charles had the army, the police, the money, and they were sharing money. And the people said, look, we are not beggars. You cannot keep sharing money. Let us know what we are going to do for a local government or somewhere. And the king refused. So they went to war. The people prevailed. In 1649, 41, they tried King Charles I. They found him guilty and cut off his head. In 1649, there was the glorious revolution in England. After the civil,
You did not even sit down to have a post-mortem of what happened and where next are we going. My next book is going to address this. Because of the British and the Americans are putting them down. They have an intelligence report which shows what happened and the thinking of our senior officers at the time. We went to war and people died. We came back to do exactly what to do. And we are there. And we are forcing people to sit down there. And if you talk against it, then you go to jail. You can be convicted for an offense. I want a situation in which we must groom the followers. The followers will get to the top heights. Then I will let for that. We were not born as leaders. We grew up and developed ourselves. Some are better in physics, some are better in medicine. If you tell a lawyer to come and perform operation for your kidney, you know yourself. The same thing if you call a general like me to come and defend you. I don't know what to say. Maybe it's without taking your time. Today, we spend so much time with the vice chancellor. If you have time tomorrow, we can come back. I don't see the way they do to people sludge with the groundnut like that. There's no pandemic. You see now, there's no pandemic. So, tomorrow we're not seeing the vice chancellor. If we have time, let's sit together. We would like to see many of your students to discuss this issue. You are the professors and lecturers. Let's discuss this issue. We are going to have a laboratory. People will contribute from all over the world into your laboratory. It will be the first of its kind in the entire country. And as the world. This will be led by the professor. It doesn't matter if you invest in it. Now you are listening to him or her, that you know that is a need. This is my own submission. They have invited me as a colleague, as a friend. So we don't have to agree. We can imagine the two together. Let us train the followers to get up to that level. And when they get to that level, then we can select leaders among them. Thank you very much, sir. I think we can now agree that we did actually not make a choice of the guests she has invited. But I pick one thing from the general's remark. Every one of us, we have our purpose.
I'm a teacher. You can't call me to come and do surgery.
But while doing my own work, there are hazards and there are casualties. As a lecturer, I know some students are afraid of my courses. But as a general, it's essential. Somebody at the forefront of being my own command, running civil war. I can't imagine how many people are already gone beyond the ground by virtue of your heart. What is your calling? There is nothing we can do. Thank you very much for honoring our invitation. For the record, General Alabi Sama was Chief of Staff to Brigadier General Benjamin Adekunle. Thank you very much. Let me now have the privilege to invite also Ambassador Erukubashi for his own remarks.
Thank you very much. I am the only exception to the family of generals that sandwich me of my seat. Commend the General Ishola Williams for the brilliant and novel concept that he's put on the table for our collective contributions analysis. My commendation also goes to General Alabi Isama, a very notable and brilliant senior military officer, right from the early period of Nigerian military formation. Well done. I also thank Professor Omede, whose last husband of blessed memory was also a general. Major General Ishola Williams is somebody that I met online when I was asked to represent the Nigerian Association. And there was this international seminar that held online. Along the line, I was linked to General Ishola Williams, and we've been exchanging personal chats. Even though the topic of the seminar was on challenges of governance in Africa, and with focus on Nigeria. Subsequently, aside the formal engagement, started exchanging I held on to my own rigid position of focusing on leadership as being the major challenges, which is the general notion held by most people. To be seen in the leaders. When we're talking about integrity, when we're talking about selflessness as opposed to selfishness, when we're talking about accommodation, that is accommodate other group, I hope you understand, tolerance, and you know all those leadership traits, all those positive qualities that are rare to manifest in human nature, because we are all members of animal kingdom. We are said to be advanced animal. But if you look at the lower animals, the chicken is broken for chicken. A chicken. If another one comes, what? That's it. Similarly, both. I hope you understand. And if the chicken were to carry young ones, and another one come with his own. So when you look at these traits, these negative traits, they cut across animal, whether advanced or lower. So it is my belief that it is through refinement and exposure that we are able to be differentiated from lower animals. But what you see that happens in most cases, these animal traits, that is known that cut across lower is still very much with us. I hope you understand. Whatever, if you are a leader, you should be selfless rather than be selfish. You are a servant and not a boss. I hope you understand. So when you look at this, it is lacking most leaders that we have seen around us. But if a leader is able to demonstrate this rare quality of character, to attract admiration and followership, come to you, and out of admiration, rare quality of character, you want to follow you. I hope you understand. For instance, let me drive the control. If at the very end of assumption of office by the leadership, he has demonstrated that readiness through pronouncement publicly that he is ready to sacrifice, and he followed it up by making progress with of sacrifice. For instance, my salary advances two now around to make a difference. I hope you understand. Now for my ministers yet to be come sacrifice and love people so that we can make a difference. I believe that the public scholarship will definitely advance of leaders and be ready to go along with it. I hope you understand. So again, another example is that Nigerians citizens of scholarship were going to be capacity in the early days of our independence. Be you Christian, be you Muslim, be you outside the whatever. If they are not to be the level of government, they will return home, secondly with the Bible. For you, how do you come about? I hope you understand. That was what was typical of were they greedy? Were they discriminatory? How do you understand? But significantly, their better side surpasses where they have their failures or limitations. I hope you understand. So, but subsequently along the line, we started having leadership degenerations or leadership deficits, which started from the top and then filtered down and permeated our system. Thereby making a subsequent generation of leaders to combine those things in the leadership. So it is my own conviction. The Lord still has to do it. Perhaps if our leaders and the rest of them are not well, the community level, state level, national, perhaps outside of the concept of I hope you understand from the general attitude that is provided. So while to a certain extent, I also agree, much as I believe in leadership, the significant factor to our current state of challenge, whatever. I believe, however, I agree with the general in the sense of believing that
nothing is static in life. So everything is dynamic. If we agree in the principle of dynamic, it is natural. I think it's simply responsible to the fact that society is dynamic. And so also idea of followership being examined as a potential opportunity to move the country forward, into our country. I think it's a welcome idea that should be looked into critically. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. That's one of our finest ambassadors, and he represented Nigeria in the Kingdom of Jordan. Okay. South Africa. Okay. I was taking the name. Thank you very much, sir, for the correction. Now, before we are supposed to go to the first paper, but we discovered that Ogbeni is now because of Zoom. We don't know whether he's willing to speak to us now or we move on. Okay. Please unmute, sir. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, sir. We can hear you, sir.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, good afternoon. I want to appreciate
Go ahead, sir.
okay.
We can hear you.
Thank you so much. I wanted to appreciate the University of Ilorin that have accepted to host this very important effort that is led by General Sholamide. I had interacted with him a couple of months back on my show, Inside Sources, and we discussed on the responsibility of followers. And it was revealed that if we don't pay attention to creating the right kind of awareness around the duties and obligations of followers, we can actually do the going on the circle. And I said to him that I found the idea quite a useful one, and I would like to support whatever effort he wants to lead in that direction. So subsequently we did agree together to develop these concepts. And I'm supposed to actually also be in physically this morning, except for in last minute's disappointment by the airline. So I wanted to use this opportunity to once again register my own support, my willingness, my readiness to be part of this effort. And I will play whatever role that I'm asked to play. Because I believe that if you take people like General Ishola who have had a tremendous experience in the military and has been able to gather tremendous credibility outside the military, working with other what else we can do to move the idea forward. And that thing has been my own personal commitment, because many of us, if not all of us, we do have this intrinsic conviction that our country is meant to be far, far greater than where it is. And so I personally committed to have a place where people can discuss. And that was how I met General, and he gave me this idea, and I said I was about it. So it's unfortunate that I'm not there physically, but I want to restate my support, my full support for what it is that he's doing, along with Joe Bebe and several other patrons who have gathered and supported this concept. Thank you so much. I'm here. If there are other things that we will be doing, I pledge my support and complete agreement with the resolutions. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. We are happy that you committed your support to us, and we will get through to you after the discussion where we will be meeting your support. Thank you very much, sir. While Competitor Luamade was giving his speech, we are honored to have with us our teachers from the Department of History and International Studies. We have Professor Sam Agali from History and International Studies. I said our teacher because back then at the campus we thought we history 1 week. That was a long time ago. And we also have here in our midst Professor Ode, also from History and International Studies. Now, I have the privilege of inviting Professor Raymond Mwade to deliver his paper on understanding the concept of followers, linkage between followers and leaders, and leaders, and the translation of followers, leadership, and governance. Thank you very much. And I'm only hoping that one day people will gather together in your constituency to celebrate you. Now, we were at the function, and General Williams here. I said I must be part of that. And so, I've been drafted into the preparations and all. And so last night when we received him as he arrived, I was saddled with the responsibility to read a paper of one of the guest speakers. The gentleman that I'm supposed to read his paper, I got the electronic copy just this morning, right to go through, is Professor Muhammad J. Kuna from the Department of Sociology, Usman Kafuri, University of Sokoto. And the title of the paper is The Leadership Followership Dynamic in Social Movements, a Brief Reassessment. Research on leadership up to about a decade ago had almost uniformly focused on leaders and leadership, relegating membership followership to the background, rendering them as passive entities. In Nigeria, as in many other countries, public imagination and discourses on the state of the nation are almost always focused on the singular role of leadership and its apparent failure to address this situation. Conceptualizing our crisis in terms of the failure of leadership, attention often shifts back and forth to persons that occupy positions of authority at all levels of government. Often, attention on the qualities or traits of leaders turns into a focus of cultures, ethnicities, and religions. Clearly, a very narrow conceptualization. This notion of leadership not only beclouds our understanding of the phenomenon, but also prevents a more critical end. Most studies say, as a co-created process in social and relational interaction between people, neglecting the idea that followership is an integral part of leadership and that there can be no leadership without followership. This has had at least two major effects. First, it has led to a narrowing of the scope and range of leadership roles almost exclusively to government and governmental functions. While the focus on governmental authority is important, the neglect of other social theaters to groupings where leadership roles could be and are critical. The family, schools, community, market, religion, etc. excluded a broad range of social behavior and activity from the purview of critical analysis, in effect asking such activities